If you talk to anyone who's ran a restaurant in the 21st century, they'll tell you the importance of having good online reviews, since enough bad comments can lead to the sinking of a business, which has led to many people taking online criticism very seriously, including Amy's Baking Company, which many consider the world's worst restaurant. Before we learn more about the almost unbelievable story of Amy's Baking Company, you have to understand just how much online reviews have changed how you run a restaurant. Back in the days before the internet was easily accessible by the general public, the most a restaurant would have for reviews would be 1 or 2 from the local newspaper, but that's not the case anymore. With the growing popularity of Yelp and the Google reviews that appear by a restaurant when you search it, business owners now have to take into account that everyone is a critic, with it only taking a single negative review to spoil a perfect score. Add in a dozen more 1-star ratings and it may actually start to impact sales. Even though there's always been word of mouth to hurt a restaurant's reputation, the internet is 10 times as powerful, with consumers being connected. Because of this, there have been countless articles and instructional guides written on how to handle the online landscape as a business owner, and when it's appropriate to reach out to an unsatisfied customer. While many have been able to navigate this new online ecosystem successfully, others have had some trouble. In 2013, the internet was first introduced to Samy and Amy of Scottsdale, Arizona when appearing on the popular television program Kitchen Nightmares, a show that follows the format of meeting the owners of a failing restaurant, seeing what they're doing wrong, and trying to help them improve their sinking business. The show is hosted by Gordon Ramsay, a Scottish-born chef who was raised in England and eventually became one of the most successful restaurant owners in the world, with his establishments being awarded an astounding 16 Michelin stars, as well as having an estimated net worth of $140 million. Before Gordon Ramsay even showed up to Amy's restaurant, things weren't looking very good. The husband and wife team that ran Amy's Baking Company had been having problems with their critics of the restaurant since they opened. When people left a negative review on Yelp, instead of ignoring it or trying to fix the situation, Amy and Samy did what many consider the worst response possible: name-calling. When someone had less than kind things to say about their meal, Amy and Samy would leave a response calling the person names, which only made the situation much worse and caused them to get attacked even more. Because of this, they appeared to want Mr. Ramsay to reaffirm their belief that their food was great and that these people online were in the wrong. The night they started filming, the show's crew was able to record the craziness of the restaurant, with people being unhappy with their food, the kitchen being unable to keep up with orders, and a screaming match between Samy and a customer that almost led to a fistfight.
Take the money. No, I want the money from him.
I am calling the police. You guys are
No,
crazy.
he's just calling the police.
I know, but hey, you're not touching him. Get away.
You are. You piece of.
You are a little pansy.
Amy,
Get out of here. Don't you ever come back here. You little weenie. Keep walking.
You.
When Gordon Ramsay first arrived, things actually started out pretty good, with him enjoying the dessert he was served along with commending them for how clean and organized the kitchen was. But things went downhill from here. Eventually he discovered that they serve frozen food, become easily frustrated with their workers, and most notably pocket their servers' tips, which appears to be illegal. When Gordon tries to point out the flaws in their business, Amy and Samy become hostile and even irate at the criticism.
Sweetheart,
I know my
pizza, wake up, is undercooked.
I don't think your pizza was undercooked. I checked it when I took it out of the oven, just like I do every other pizza. And to me, it was crispy on the bottom. When I cut it,
Right.
it was crunchy.
Okay.
So to me, it wasn't wrong.
Okay, so that's your version because you
Sure.
didn't see it come back.
After trying to reason with them, Kitchen Nightmares for the first time in the show's history gives up on a struggling business, with Gordon Ramsay walking away since they refused to listen to him. And even though this wrapped up the episode, this drama was going to move online. Shortly after the episode's release, clips of Amy and Samy's freakout began to trend all over the internet, including several posts on Reddit with people marveling at how outrageous they were, and if this wasn't just some pre-planned reality show material. To find out, people swarmed to Amy's Baking Company's social media pages. If Amy thought that a few bad Yelp reviews were infuriating, you can only imagine how she responded when thousands of people began to berate them, saying whatever they could to get under their skin. And of course it did, with Facebook posts such as, "You are all little punks. Nothing. You are all nothing. We are laughing at you, all of you, just fools. We have God on our side. You just have your sights. This of course led to more and more people watching this online breakdown happen before their eyes, with many actually going to the restaurant in real life to see the owners in person and maybe even get them to freak out. And Samy did, with TMZ gaining access to a video of him threatening a person with what appears to be a knife. With this newfound attention, many started to look into Amy's baking company and gained some interesting findings. Even though there were a lot of things wrong with the restaurant, the one thing that Amy could be commended for were her dessert items, which were praised as being delicious on the show. After the episode aired though, some started to accuse Amy of buying the cakes and passing them off as her own, with their Facebook page even saying, "We do not need this, you stupid people. America is about reselling, it is not a big deal. The cakes we offer are expensive because we have to repackage and ship. Do not blame us because you cannot afford quality. The Yelpers and now the Reddits need to back off. You're not right just because of some TV show." On top of this, Samy now had to face the possibility of deportation, with the public finding out about his past as a gangster, with his involvement in drug trafficking, threats, and extortion. In fact, he was already banned from France and Germany. With these mob ties, some on Reddit even theorized that the business was a money laundering scheme. Other sites also reported on the findings that Amy had a run-in with the law herself, when she spent 14 months in prison for the misuse of a social security number. After the firestorm of messages on their Facebook account, Amy's baking company informed the world that all the posts that were made freaking out on the internet weren't them, but rather a clever hacker that gained access to their accounts and pretended to be them. No one seemed to believe this. Even though the restaurant continued to stay afloat for a while, in 2015 they closed their doors. While Amy is still baking and active on social media, having a storefront seemed to not be working for the couple after all the negative attention they received. What we can learn from Amy's baking company is that when you receive negative attention online, it's not always the best idea to have a meltdown, since that usually makes things even worse. So Samy and Amy, welcome to my Internet Hall of Fame. Whether that's a good or bad thing is completely up to you.
They call and say, I have it on videotape. They call, do you have Battletoads?